And we're
live! Welcome, everyone.
Now.
Trump is now the president-elect. Good luck. We're not talking about that anymore. So, boys, welcome. It's been a couple weeks. Last week was a cluster blook. People came to town. I couldn't get away, and I thought I could squeeze
your
it in.
social life exploded all in your face.
I know, that's true, all over my face. It just exploded like a fountain of glory.
It was a money shot.
It was a money shot of weeks, which was kind of funny because we actually had quite the dry spell for visitors, and then suddenly it's like 3 people show up all at the same time. So, but that's okay. We had fun, entertained them,
built bunk beds,
drank beer. But now it's all over. Halloween is gone. We were going to talk about Halloween. However, because it was my beer choice this week, I still decided to kind of go with the Halloween theme. So I picked a seasonal by this company here,
Central
the
City
Pumpkin Spice Ale. Now, here's the thing. I wanted to make sure that we could all get this beer. So I used the BC Liquor Board to tell me that they had where it was. So it was available, quite a few of them. I even called Cascadia in Camel River, which I'm assuming is either where you hopefully go, maybe. I don't know.
Cascadia in Comox, yes.
In Comox, yes. Oh, sorry, Courtney. Did I say what I say?
You said
Camel River. It's one of those little
the one south
there that start with a C.
Yeah, exactly. So they said they had it. I said great. So I checked the liquor stores in Victoria. They said they had it. So I was convinced that we would have this one. So
wow.
But yeah,
okay.
So that took a bit of doing.
I would like to pause you there for a moment.
Yeah.
And say props, because wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm opening this puppy right now.
Awesome. I'll open it too. I thought you were going to give like a big lead up or something into saying that Dave couldn't get it or something.
No. Dave confirmed that he did get it. And ooh, look at that. That's sort of a...
It looks like beer.
Looks like beer. It's a very sort of calm, clear...
So tell us about this beer. What's the deal?
It's a redhead.
Well, it's a seasonal from Red Racer that Central City, under the Red Racer brand. It's similar to the cock. Yes, the cock Shane. No, what's it called? Red Racer. It's like a red ale, I think. Shoot, I can't remember the name of it now. Hang on. I'm going to look it up. Red Racer. The Red Racer beer, which is called... It's right in front of my face. The Red Ale. Which I thought was called something else. Maybe I'm confusing it with the...
I think you're confused.
The Radler. Anyway, yeah, but this is the Red Racer Red Ale is something that, because it comes in the big cans, it's one of those beers. It's one of those things that you just kind of go to, that if you don't want to go across the street or to any breweries locally, and you can't really decide on if you want to try something new or if you want to, it's essentially, for me, it's kind of like the Budweiser of the beer that we get. Not that we get it a lot. It's once in a while. But, there are times where it's like people bring it over and stuff like that. So I wanted to stick with, but because I was going for the Halloween-y kind of thing, which is already like, a week and a bit gone, or a week gone. I thought the Spice Pumpkin Ale, if it was still around, would be good. So I'm glad we all got it. I'm actually kind of surprised, but I did go out of my way to make sure that we all could at least attempt to get it. did you guys have a good Halloween? Let me get that out of the way, since I know there are so many things, so much has happened since the 31st. But any adventure stories? Any trick or treating stories? What kind of things did you experience?
Yeah, it was on a Monday, and my two youngest kids went trick or treating, and one of them came back with like a lot of candy, but he was out kind of late, and I ended up having to drive around the neighborhood looking for him.
Way to go, Cameron!
Until it was time to come home. Yes, it was Cameron, and man, seriously, he went out with like a pillowcase, and it like he had trouble carrying it. It was loaded.
Nice.
He said that by 8:30 he and his friend would be going up to houses, knocking on the door, and they would have a bowl of candy left, and they'd dump half of it in his friend's bag and the other half into his bag. So they go to the next house. Same thing would happen.
Oh wow!
Nothing like a decent amount of candy. I think I recall doing that at some point when I was younger, but I remember when I got older and stopped trick or treating and the whole thing. You get around 12 at the very latest, and you just stop going because it's lame, and girls are kind of hot. The people coming to my door doing that thing, these really 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that were just basically knocking on doors looking for handouts for candy that people would just want to get rid of, and that kind of annoyed me. And I remember one year, I think it was about 14, 15, maybe 16, and I had some of the candy left over, and I had it in my hand when they came to the door. And I said, "Yeah, this is the last one." And one of them actually went to like go and grab it, like as if I was offering it to them. And I just sort of tore it open and stuffed it in my mouth and closed the door. So I felt like kind of an ass, but at the same time, I don't know, I was getting crotchety, I guess.
Getting crotchety in your
my young age. But I have to tell you one thing about this beer. It looks great, and it tastes like I'm drinking a pumpkin. It really does. It's like a pumpkin was mutilated, tortured, turned evil, minced into the beer, and now we have to drink it. It's like a pained pumpkin.
It's almost like a pumpkin peed into it.
It's like a pumpkin was given a few too many pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks, and then it's like, oh god, I have to go to the
counter. And it was all angry. It was all angry because it misspelled their name on the cups.
Exactly.
Again, right? So, no, my name is Janice.
I'm Janice the pumpkin. There are no other Janices.
How do you get Tanya from Janice?
I always get Sean. Not that I ever go to Starbucks a lot often, but I always get they always write down Sean for some reason, and spelled in like 400 different ways, and they never. I don't think I've ever got my name right. But yeah, you're right. This is actually the best way to describe this. This is like drinking pumpkin urine. However, we'll point out.
I mean,
well, this is the thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just that the strength of the pumpkin flavoring is overpowering. So I don't know. I had this last year, and I don't remember it being so strong in the pumpkin. Strong with the pumpkin, it is, yes.
I read an article earlier this fall about pumpkin beers and how they've run their course, and craft beer aficionados are kind of like, do I really have to choke down another pumpkin beer and say that I like it when I really don't? Now, I don't have a problem with pumpkin beers. I mean, it's fine. I'll have it as sort of like a once in a while thing. And this one is good.
That's like saying, do I really have to choke down another slice of pumpkin pie? Give me a fucking break. I'd eat that stuff till the cows came home, man.
Same here. But this is not
what's missing
pumpkin pie.
from this beer.
Is the pie?
That's missing. Is it's there's no sweetness to it at all. It's just raw pumpkin with maybe some spices thrown in, but the pumpkin is so powerful you can't actually taste what's going on in the background. Yeah, there's no sweetness because you know.
I don't know. I'd say there's a little hint of sweet.
Really?
Don't you think?
I'd say it's more spicy than sweet.
Sure. But to me, it seems like there's a little bit of sweetness. I'm not going to claim it's that powerful or anything, but.
All
Well,
right,
I gotta say, it's yeah. I mean, it is what it is. What it is, spiced pumpkin ale. There's no claim that it's anything other than that. So, who are we to complain?
I love the artwork on Red Racer's bottles.
Yeah, it's always got the people on it. This one actually is particularly gratuitous.
Well, it's always got the same person. The scantily clad redhead riding a bike.
But
really
you know, it's a decent, solid thing. And actually, the other week I actually went into the Red Racer restaurant, which used to be Dick's on DIX.
Oh, really?
On Beatty Street. It was not. Beatty Street. Essentially, what happened is the Dick's closed because it had a brewing license, and the group that owned it wanted to move the license, or they wanted another license, and the city said no for whatever reason. Which now they're just handing them out pretty much. Want to start a brewery? Yeah, here's a license. But back then, but I'm talking like 6 years ago. They said no, so the company said, "Well, we'll just close that location and we'll move the license somewhere else." And I think they played chicken, and the city lost because that place left. Like 24 people were out of work, and then it took until last summer, so about almost a year and a half ago. The Red Racer branding went up on the windows, and they opened it then. So it was and that's why I went in there. Was it last week before? So that wasn't so bad. It was all right. I've been there. I had been there, I think, once before that. Can't throw peanut shells on the floor anymore, which kind of sucks. But what can you do?
Just gonna have to go
Why
back
is that?
to Big Bad John's again.
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole thing with Dick's, is that you went in, it was supposed to be rustic and all that kind of stuff, and they had these big, huge vats of peanuts, and you would go and you'd get some, and you'd take it over to your table, and you just throw the shells on the floor.
Did they have bras hanging all over the place?
No, it wasn't like Big Bad John's. Although here, I'll take my underwear off. We should take that.
So in case anybody doesn't know, Big Bad John's is a long-standing bar in Victoria. You can get the peanuts. You throw the shells on the floor. There's peanut shells all over. If you're allergic to peanuts, I would not suggest going into Big Bad John's, because you'll probably suffer an anaphylactic shock or whatever. But another cool thing that's in there is there's these bras hanging all over the place. And apparently women go in there, and you can take off your bra and hang it up on the wall and leave it there. That's what some people do.
I'm just trying to look for a photograph. Yeah, here you go.
Okay with
this is like Bra City, Big Bad John's. That
would be an awesome store name. Bra City, Bra City.
We sell bras, and that's all. Sorry, that is now playing in my head. Spatula City. Oh man, Spatula City, Spatula City, Spatula City. We sell brand name spatulas for whatever.
That's totally what I was thinking of. That's
oh
awesome.
my god.
What better way than to say I love you than with the gift of a spatula?
It'd be kind of weird to be. What a better gift to say I love you than with a bra. There's no clasps on this one. I know. Just to finish off really quickly, I recommend this beer, although it is like drinking a pumpkin. I don't have a problem with that. Some people might be expecting a spice latte flavor, but that is not what this is. This is like a little bit of spice, and here's a pumpkin, and then that's what you're drinking. So,
well, I should point out that this beer actually has pumpkin in it, whereas the pumpkin spiced latte doesn't actually have pumpkin in it because
yes, it's like a pumpkin latte, alien hybrid or something.
Spice latte. So there's the pumpkin spices that are in the latte, not the pumpkin itself.
Exactly. It's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea.
But this has actual pumpkin in it.
And that is happy making in all kinds of ways. So overall, beer gets a thumbs up from me. What about you two?
Yeah, it gets a thumbs up from me for a once a year type of thing.
Dave?
It's not too bad. I think I'm going to say half thumb.
Half thumb, wow.
A half thumb, like, yeah. Exactly.
So basically, Dave, imagine Dave lost half of his thumb in a horrible boating accident or something like that. So whatever thumb he has left, that's what he's giving to to the Red Racer Pumpkin Ale.
Yep. Because I'm a giver like that.
Good on you.
And Shane just disappeared, I guess.
No, I actually just put the beer back in the fridge because I wanted to. There's, it's a big bottle, so when I got the beer, it was only a few hours ago, so it hadn't had a lot of time to cool. So it's not warm, but it's not as cold as I would like it. So guys, so the beer is good. We like it. Beer Fest is gone. The holidays of the Christmas time season is coming. We don't want to talk about that. But we got to talk about the elephant in the room.
Dave.
And that is Dave and his black.
Yes, because I am just
masculine.
so huge.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. But what about your what? We have 1 minute to talk about this, and then we should talk about really cool things.
Are we going to
Can
get
we
election?
really only talk about
The
it
election in the United
once
States.
we broach the topic, we're gonna talk about it for a lot longer than a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do this. We each have a minute tops. All right.
All right.
A minute
Okay.
tops. Because I can actually just sum it all up. I'm terrified. There. I'm
Terrified. Good. All right. Here's my summary.
done. Okay, Alan.
Yeah, I'll just say that I actually picked him to win. I figured he would. I didn't do that on this show, but in my circles and everything, they were all like, "Oh yeah, Hillary's going to win easily." I was like, "Nope, Trump's going to win." They're like, "No, you're drunk again," and it was true. I was, but but I was also right, and I'm not tired of being right all the time. But in this particular case, I wish I was wrong.
Fair enough.
I'm still waiting for Donald Trump to kind of come up in front of the cameras and like reach up to like the top of his forehead and go zzz, and it's gonna be Andy Kaufman leaps out and goes, "Haha, gotcha."
That's kind of your best case scenario at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing that I think out of yesterday has nothing to do with Trump, has nothing to do with Hillary, has nothing to do with anything other than how many people actually voted. Mm-hmm. And in 2008, something like 68 million people voted for Barack Obama. Then his second election, something like 65 million people. And then this year, only 50 something odd million. And I'm getting this information has just been updated on Wikipedia, which is where I'm reading it off of. But they're basically doing a tally of how many people actually voted. And you can just see it going down for the last 3 years, 2008, 2012, 2016. And that's really ultimately why he won, is that it was so incredibly close that the turnout being what it was almost identical. Like both parties basically got the same amount of votes, Democrats a bit more. But because so many people voted for the other president, for I was going to say Biden, not Biden, Obama, they just overpowered the Republicans. The Republicans didn't really have this sort of strong turnout, and the turnout they had was less. This year was less than 4 years ago. So, but there was a dive on the Democratic side, which is really weird, very, very strange. So,
Given who they were floating as their candidate, not really.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
There's a lot of unhappy people that was who their choice was for the Dems.
Well, yeah, the problem is the Democrats this year, or this particular cycle, did what the Republicans did last time. Although the Republicans did it again this time, where they had, fully qualified people, but somehow the crazies got in front. So I don't know. Whatever. At the end of the day, nothing is going to really change. It's just going to be 4 years of this guy trying to do more stuff than he would like to do. But once you throw any president into the machine will eat them up. And what can you do? I mean, it's just how politics works. It's how these democratic organizations work.
I don't think Trump will survive the 4 years, and not because I think that necessarily anybody will bump him off, but I don't think he's extraordinarily healthy.
No?
Well, no, I mean he's overweight. He's getting on in years, and I don't think he's ready for the stress that being president of basically the free leader of the free world is going to. It's going to put it's going to test his body, and
yeah.
I could see him, having some sort of a health scare.
I could see that happening. I haven't really followed what people have reported about his health, but my fear is actually somebody might try and kill him.
I think people will try. I don't think people will succeed. I think.
No, I'm not saying that they should. I think
security is far too tight these days.
It's just very interesting, just how the resentment could go deeper. But again, maybe not. I don't know. I hope he doesn't get killed. To be honest, I hope he is very healthy and no one really wants to.
I think it's more likely that there will be a civil war.
Yeah, I suppose, but it'll be what, East versus left, or East, yeah, South versus East. I don't know, whatever, something like that. Anyway, that's enough talk about the U.S. election. We're Canadians, doesn't really have a whole lot to do with us at all. But let's talk about the coolest thing that I found this week. Is something that is so incredibly cool. And I put the link in the chat there, Alan. I'm not sure. Maybe I should put it in again just in case you missed it.
Yeah.
This is a link to a website called OSHA. It's like Ocean and Research put together. But it is a a thing where some researchers have tagged, I think, something like 7 sharks or 10 sharks. So I'm not actually sure where that list is. I thought there was a list, but essentially, I heard about this on CBC Radio last week as a random story, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever because the reason they were reporting on it was this particular shark, Lydia, has gone farther than any other shark, great white shark, by the way, in the Atlantic Ocean has gone. Because they sort of, I guess the assumption is that a lot of them, they tend to stick to closer to Cuba and that kind of thing. But this shark is like crossed the Atlantic, has traveled quite some distance. And is currently, as of today, because here's the thing, the tracking device tracks information about where the shark is, the depth of the shark, that kind of stuff. Whether or not the shark is thinking deep feelings. But also I think it's every day or once every 2 days, something. Or is it a couple times a day? I can't remember. But actively tweets its location, saying, here's where I am. So this great white shark is currently hovering off the coast of Nova Scotia, which I think is, to me, not what I would have expected. I mean, I like Jaws, but I don't really know a whole lot about sharks. And I just thought it was kind of an uplifting, not related to any election information. It just was something that I thought was terribly cool.
What state did Jaws take place in?
Jaws was supposed to be a fictional island, but it was filmed in Martha's Vineyard, which is a lot further south. So definitely great white shark.
Right.
Stuff, if that makes any sense. So I gather they've got a bunch of these, which is kind of cool. Over the last few years, they have a whole bunch of sharks traveling around the world. There was another shark that crossed the Pacific, I think. I don't know what shark that is, though. I'm trying to look it up here. But they're just basically wanting to get to know more about what these sharks actually do and what these, they travel huge distances, which I would never have guessed. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of sharks doing a lot of cool things and traveling in places that I believe no one really knew sharks would go. And how far out to sea they would go, because generally, I mean, sharks tend to be, shore-based creatures because there's a lot of food around that. But these guys are going way the hell out there. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of an uplifting story, kind of nice. Not as cool as the Han Solo trilogy that's going to be done, starring Troy from Community as Lando Calrissian. So I don't know.
Starring?
I was
co-starring.
Mm-hmm. Co-starring as they've selected the Han Solo actor who I don't know, but of course then I heard about this Troy. I can't remember his name. Donald Glover. Thank you. Who's now cast as Lando Calrissian from that particular, at least the first one, I guess. Whether the trilogy will go ahead, who knows?
They should have gotten Billy D. Williams.
Well, I'm sure Billy D. will show up at some point. Again, I suspect he'll be in one of the other Star Wars films, like Episode 8 or 9. I would be surprised if he wasn't in 8, though. That'd be kind of weird if he wasn't. However,
I don't care about any of that. I just want to see Rogue One already.
Yeah,
no, totally.
This is true. Totally. Yeah. What was the other Star Wars news? Oh, sorry, it wasn't Star Wars news. It's Harry Potter news. I don't know if you guys care about this. I like Harry Potter. I think it's cool. I like the films. I read the books. But this film that comes out a couple days from now is the first of 5 movies, apparently. So yeah, more Fantastic Creature films are upcoming. Not a whole lot is known about them, obviously. Just the first one is coming out. But they're betting they're betting on that these films will sell, and Star Wars is doing the same thing, or Disney. However, I did just last week at 9:45 last Thursday night. Mike, a friend of the show, who's been on the show once, was here, and he randomly said, "Hey, by the way, do you want to go to a movie?" I said, "Sure, if you're still here." He's like, "Yeah, I think I will be." And I'm like, "Cool. What do you want to see?" So we went and saw at the one of 2 adult theaters in town where it's 19 plus. So you can buy beer. There's a bar out front. As you walk into the movie theater, it's Cineplex too. It's not like a strange thing, but you walk in, there's a bar. You can get whatever you want. You can take your drinks in. Kind of neat. I had not been. So anyway, so we went and saw Doctor Strange.
Oh, what'd you think? What'd you think?
I have to say, I had no expectations of the film whatsoever. I still have yet to see Civil War. I mean, I don't run out to see Marvel films. I usually catch them later on, unless I really, really, really want to, like the Avengers. But I went. I had no expectations for it, and I walked out going, "That was one solid film." It introduced the aspect of mysticism and mystical powers and things like that without it being too hokey. And I gotta say, I give it a thumbs up. It's something that if you've not seen a Marvel film before, this would be one of the ones a bit later in the story, obviously, but even though there's other stuff that's gone on, definitely worth checking out. So yeah, thumbs up all the way.
Cool.
Are you guys going to are you planning to see it at some point?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
I don't know. You know what? There's so many superhero movies now, and I can't keep up with them. I can't see them all. So I'm not going to see any. There's Star Wars stuff coming out.
Star Wars.
I'm putting my all my eggs in that basket, and so I'll go and watch Rogue One. I tell you what I do want to do though. The new Capital 6 is open.
I know. It apparently opened on Friday.
I want to go to a movie there, and I'm shocked. It doesn't cost any more than Silver City.
Really?
It costs exactly the
Capital
same.
6,
Wow.
Victoria. Does it actually list them as having
Why would you not go
films?
to the Capital 6 then? Really? That would be my question.
Pardon me?
Why would you not just go to the Capital 6 then?
Well, it may be like convenience. I mean, the Silver City is in the suburbs. Free parking.
True.
Parking that's right out in front. Whereas if you go downtown, you could be parking like 3-4 blocks away.
True.
And that's if you can get parking at all. And then you got to go through the sea of panhandlers and all that kind of stuff. So, but I would love to go to see a movie at the Capital 6.
Okay.
Agreed.
So, Shane, next time you're in town, we're going to the Capital 6.
I totally.
I don't care if we have to go see the Joy Luck Club.
There's nothing wrong with the Joy Luck Club.
I've never seen it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying it's not our kind of movie. But I want to go see a movie at the Capital 6.
Oh, hey, Here's another one. Arrival.
Oh,
The
yeah.
one about the alien craft that lands or something. Yeah, I kinda like that.
Yeah. Just today, I was hearing some good things about it.
Oh, that's good.
Like it's
What did you hear?
okay, so I heard that it won't appeal to 18-year-old boys, and it's cerebral might be a little strong of a term, but apparently it makes you think. It's not a chop socky blow the fucking universe up kind of a movie. It's a little quieter than that.
Chop Saki.
All right.
Well,
Sure
everything these days is about exploding your eyeballs as far back into your
Oh,
skull
okay. All
as
right. Now I
is
understand.
possible,
Okay.
right?
Here's the story right there. Can you see it? It's right there.
Yeah.
Here are the special effects. They're everywhere. Yeah, no, I totally. Well, that's actually what surprised me about the Doctor Strange thing is that I saw the trailers. I thought, okay, Doctor Strange. I've read some of that, but not a whole lot. I know who the character is, and I know sort of his arc and whatnot. But then, this film could have been complete and utter just special effect only with no story to it. And it had a lot of special effects because, it's depicting the multiverse. It's depicting what that might look like in different universes and magic and all this kind of stuff. But it stuck to what the story was about. It never deviated. It was like, here's a bunch of special effects that look really awesome, but here is why you're seeing this. Which a lot of films, it could be completely and utterly just not, nothing, but that is what they're relying on. And that it was refreshing. And I just looked it up, and apparently Strange is doing incredibly well, much better than they thought it would. So like at almost $100 million the first weekend kind of thing. So
Cool.
Well, how can you go wrong with Benedict Cumberbatch? Really?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I know,
granted,
right?
he's got
he's
his
just so dreamy.
audience, right? Yeah, I mean,
Totally, right?
come on, Ben, let's do this. There are some things I would do for fame. Who is this guy? Who's the short, overweight guy? Who cares? But he did Benny there,
Okay, so
you remembered.
I remembered something. On Friday, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but the Nintendo Entertainment System Mini is coming out. You guys know what this is?
I did see this. I did see
something about.
So it is a miniature version of
like
the
this
Nintendo
big. It's like
Entertainment
tiny.
System that came
The
out
original.
in 1983, and it's like, it's smaller than a bread box, and it comes with 30 classic games pre-installed on it, and you hook it up to your TV. It comes with an HDMI cable, and it comes with the same classic controller, wired even. And you can play like Super Mario, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, all those old classic games.
Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Pac-Man, Mega Man 2, Dr. Mario, Punch-Out, Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong Jr., Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Excite Bike. I always called it Excita. Kid Icarus, Ice Climber, Double Dragon Revenge 2, Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Galaga, Star Topics, like Ghosts and Goblins, it's got everything you'd ever
totally
want
getting
to play. So it comes out on Remembrance Day this week in 2 days' time.
$80 in Canada.
Yeah, that's actually, I was going to say it's actually got some surprising stuff, and which of course is interesting because Nintendo, of course, has launched its new system as well, the Nintendo Switch. which is a very strange device. Kind of cool.
You know, all of Nintendo's devices are strange. Do you ever notice that?
They are, but I have to say they're in my opinion, Nintendo's been trying to find where the future is going for gaming and that kind of stuff, because there's Xbox and PlayStation, which essentially they've pretty much released the same thing every single year. And Nintendo had the GameCube, which was sort of the same thing. Then they came out with the Wii, which was very different. And then the Wii U came out, which even added a tablet to it, so it was even more different. It was trying not to be exactly the same thing. Didn't go over so well, I gather, because people thought it was a bit too weird. This, though, I don't know. This is basically taking their portable gaming system thing and their console and jamming them together, saying, okay, look, if you didn't like the console too much, we have a lot of power in the DS world. What if we put those together so you can actually have apparently the tablet thing is the whole unit. The Switch part is basically just a unit to connect to your television set. So I know I got to say that I give it up for them for trying. Even if stuff doesn't go very well, like if the Wii did very, very well, the Wii U not so much. This, I don't know. I got to say that it's far more interesting to me to buy a product like that. Not that I really would, than to just go and get a console like a PlayStation or an Xbox, which I don't think I'll ever do again. It would have to be very compelling to do that. So who knows? I'm a PC gamer, so ultimately I get far more benefit out of that. But there is one thing I have noticed is that this game called Infinite Warfare had a very interesting thing where the PC version was released, the console version was released, but they couldn't play together. You couldn't take PC and whatever together and play each other. So the entire PC market, they started giving people refunds because no one was playing. So yeah, it's a stupid choice. I think the best example of how to do that kind of thing is you have a game, you have to let these consoles play with PCs and vice versa. Rocket League, I think, conquered that fairly well. When it was released, it only had PC, then they added Xbox, and then because Windows and Xbox basically merged operating systems with Windows 10, and PlayStation was added not too long after that. So you can play the game with people who are on console or not. So it's kind of interesting how that works. But yeah, it's just getting the day and age now. You can't build for a platform anymore that is exclusive to that platform. PlayStation, Sony does a lot of those sort of exclusive games, but I think
so does Microsoft.
Well, not so much anymore, especially when Xbox basically is running Windows 10 now to talk to everything else. So who knows? Well, it will be interesting to see where that goes. I think it probably won't be too different from now, but who knows? Then there's people like Max and stuff that just why punish yourself?
I know.
Yeah, really.
Those people should just jump off a cliff and die.
Yeah, it's weird when their computers crash. When they're supposed to be doing a stream.
But I got an Apple; it doesn't crash.
Wow. How many times have I heard that? Holy crap! Tell me about it.
Steve Jobs jumped me.
For some reason, I don't know what.
Look at me! I got my Apple Watch.
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad.
I have a Garmin watch myself.
I have.
They're much cooler.
Oh, here it is. There's my watch right there.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got this week, boys and girls. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you that this beer is not terrible at all. It does taste like you're trying to stomach down a pumpkin, but you know what? That's what you're paying for.
There you go.
So,
Get it if you can find
Paying
it.
for the
Otherwise,
label.
wait till
get
next
it if you can find it. If you'll miss it this year, it'll be back next year. It was here last year too. So, that's yeah. So there you go. Thank you for coming. We'll see you all next week.
Check us out on Twitter.
Check us out on Twitter. I just updated about I don't know, a dozen videos today, making sure that our playlist is up to date and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, come on by. We'll see you all next time. Bye.